Alrighty, so we got Blake, Todd, and Chad Graham that we're going to be interviewing today, guys. They just got back from 101, and to kind of fill everybody in about 101, I wanted to have both of them on and interview them on, some of the key things that they picked up from 101 as well too. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Blake, tell us a little bit about you, man. What did you do kind of before you started here?
So I graduated from Presbyterian College, and, just was looking for a job. Did some stuff in accounting for an internship over my college years, and kind of saw this job and just kind of thought it'd be a good opportunity to start out with, knowing that, if I'm going to do something like this, now's the time to, really do it.
Awesome. Heck yeah, man. So far, Blake, what have you enjoyed most about Family Heritage?
Just being able to talk to new people every day and just being able to, protect them on this kind of stuff. Cause I know a lot of people that say they've been looking for something like this all along. And, it just gives them, just knowing that I'm giving people, that peace of mind, and that the Family Heritage and the product is giving them that peace of mind, just makes me kind of feel good about what I'm doing.
Awesome. Heck yeah, Blake. I appreciate you being on. Chad,
Yes,
man, tell us a little bit about you. What did you do before Family Heritage?
Like you, CJ, I was 14 years in the beer business as a salesman. Kind of got burned out and tired of building someone else's dream, right? So I wanted to work for myself and build my own dream.
For sure. And what do you enjoy most about Family Heritage?
Obviously, protecting families. I've always had that service mindset. But a big one for me is just making the connections with people that we make with every day. Not only our clients, but also, our coworkers. It goes a long way. I've got lifelong friends from this business that I would never known had I not went to 101 or Puerto Rico, places like that. There's just people that I've met that will be lifelong friends.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So guys, this is for both of y'all. We can go one at a time. How was 101? What did you enjoy about 101?
Go ahead, Blake.
Okay. I think it was pretty great, being able to, meet people that are within your own agency, and also people that are, in other agencies. It's really cool to kind of just meet a lot of new people and kind of see where they came from as well, and kind of see how they've been doing, working, and just kind of learning a lot of new things from other people as well. Like Chad, I learned a lot from him, and just a lot of other people, just having a lot of other knowledge that, you wouldn't get if you didn't go to something like that.
For sure. Chad, what about you, man?
I think for me, it was just getting back to the basics of the business. This company has put in millions and millions of dollars and many man hours to make sure that we're successful. The tools are there, just knowing that what's in your toolbox and, when to use it. It just brought it all back home to me. How we need to utilize what they're giving us, because it is successful. Just use it, right?
For sure. Who are some of the people that you guys met at 101?
Let's see here. Let's see. We had Robin. She's from Louisiana. Joan, Louisiana. Jeremy, he was actually the #1 producer for the last 26 weeks. He's out of Texas. Strong guy. Very smart. And obviously, everyone within our agency that we hadn't already met through agency days. And of course, everyone from corporate, from Ken Matson down. There's not another company out there where the CEO will go bowling with you or just treat you like a human, right? You're just not a number to him. He puts a face to it. So
for sure. Tell me a little bit, Blake, tell me a little bit more about that too. How did it go with everybody from corporate, did you get to hang out with them? Did you, get to eat meals with them?
Yeah, definitely. We, definitely got to do all that, meet all of them, and we went bowling, with them, which was really cool seeing that. And, just drinking a beer with them. It was really cool to experience. And then, I know people that we met there was one that was like, I think his nickname was Big Papa Joe, I believe. He was like 85 or something like that. And, just hearing him talk was really, really cool. Just kind of seeing his point of view, and I don't know, it just made me really want to go out there and just get better every day from hearing his speech on Thursday, I believe it was.
Yep, Papa Joe Jacobson.
Yeah,
A week dedicated solely to him. It's a Train More. He's the OG, the founder of Train Mores.
wow.
So, is there one person, Chad, in particular that you got to meet that really kind of stood out to you?
You talking corporate wise or just in general?
In general.
I think Witt, I believe he's from Texas too. He's a pretty sharp guy. Whitmore, I believe is his last name. He kind of stood out to me, pretty active in the classroom and talking a lot. So
Awesome. Guys, give everybody a kind of like a glimpse of the schedule. Like, what did the schedule look like?
So you're pretty much in class from 8 to 5. Of course, you get breaks and lunch, and it's a pretty interactive class. They want you to be active, speaking up, taking your big takeaways. Of course, we do some breakout trainings and things in front of the classroom. But at night, we went bowling one night. They had dinner each night. Then after that, it was just more getting to know everyone. We just hung out by the pool out there and had some beers and just had a good time.
That's awesome. Who did you guys hear from? Like, who's the guest speakers?
I think his name was Jack Clark or Brandon. I can't remember his name, but he was really good on what he spoke about. Chad, do you remember his name?
Yeah, it was Jack Clark.
Okay, yeah, and he was really good. He talked about like 5 basic things that I can't remember right, but he was like, you'll always have the gimmies, and like just really staying persistent on your path was one of the guest speakers there.
Heck yeah. What are some key takeaways that you got from some of the guest speakers, whether it be, Jack Clark, Joe Jacobson, Ken Madsen, Rob Schmidt, Seamus? What are some of the key takeaways that you got from some of the speakers?
Just knowing that, some of the response systems, I really, I know they handed some paperwork out on that, just being able to really know your rebuttals, word for word, and also just like other ways to recruit, like other, just things you can say to recruit somebody. And just also Papa Joe, just his story in this speech just really helped teach me that, it's not always sunshine and rainbows. It's going to be difficult, but obviously if you stick to it like he did for 28 years in Globe Life, that, you'll make not only yourself wealthy, but, your daughter and your kids and their kids, and, all that will just help an entire generational wealth.
For sure. Chad, what about you, man? What are some of your biggest takeaways from
the big one Papa Joe said at the end of his statement is, "I'm not an important person, but what I do is very important." That really resonated with me. It's not the person that's doing it, it's just what we do is more important, right? And Brad Quervey, once he had, everyone come up and do their introduction or their approach, right? So when that was over, it really resonated with me that when we have new agents with us on their first day in the field, well, they're more nervous than we should have been up there in front of that classroom, right, with 60 people. They're more so we guys, we got to know our sales talk. We got to know our approach, right? Because if we're not teaching them the right way, we're doing them a disservice because they're getting further off the script. Then if they go train someone, they're getting further off the script. So just make sure you know your approach and your sales talk before you start training someone.
100%. That was gonna be my next thing to talk about as well too. Is obviously they get you back to the basics in one-on-one. How did your approach compare to them getting you back to the basics in one-on-one? Like how did it line up?
Mine was off a little. There was probably 2 or 3 actual different approaches out there. But the one Kyle uses is probably the best one. Of course, mine was off. Everyone's was off. But you adjust that accordingly, and it makes you better in the long run, right?
For sure. Blake, what about you, man?
Yeah, I agree with Chad. I'd say, the overall principle of the approach, mine was similar, but there was definitely some things that I had changed the wording a little bit. But yeah, I definitely agree with Chad.
Awesome. How important is it, getting back to the basics?
Well, go ahead, Blake. Go ahead.
Sorry. I think it's really important. I can't remember the lady's name. I know Chad would remember her name. A lady that worked there for like 17 years or so. And she even said that like she had gotten away from the basics. And just hearing it from, her point of view and other people's point of view that have been there for a while, that, that it's just really important that you stay. I mean, if you never leave the basics, you don't have to go back to them. And I think that really resonated with me to kind of make sure to week in, week out, to kind of stick to the basics as close as, you can, and just stay there, really.
For sure.
Yeah.
Chad?
And it's easier to start a new habit than it is to break a bad habit, right? But if you look at the career track, there's one thing both sides have in common, right? It says sales professional all the way across the bottom. That's the foundation of our business, knowing the basics, right? So either way you want to go up that career track, you've got to know that sales talk. Just think of you're costing your family $100 every time you don't use that sales talk, right? Because you're not making the sale. So
For sure. The qualifications for one-on-one, printouts within 6 weeks, or what is it, 25,000?
It's actually 26-week qualification period.
Okay.
2 greenouts for 25,000 in 26 weeks. So.
Gotcha, for sure. How important is it to hit those qualifications in order to go? Like, what do you think one-on-one will do for your business, being brand new into the company? Blake, for you as well too, man. What do you think one-on-one is going to do for your business?
I think it's really going to help it, take off. I know I don't have any body on my team yet, but going to one-on-one kind of showed me not only the importance to it, but just kind of what it could do for my business, and just kind of showing that only one person can only do so much. And if you recruit more people, or just get 1 or 2 people on your team to start out with, that more families will get protected and more territories will be covered. And yeah, I think it'll just help my business kind of step up the ladder a little bit.
For sure. Chad, what about you, man?
Kind of touch on what Blake just said. Multiplying myself, right? Obviously, there's not another one of me, but finding, this year I have a goal of adding 5 people to my team by the, end of my first year back. And multiplying myself, because I can only do so much in a 24-hour period, but you multiply that by 5, we can get a lot more families protected. So,
for sure. Are you glad that you went to one-on-one? Are there any regrets that you have about one-on-one?
Personally, no. There might be a bowling alley that's missing a pair of shoes. Um, other than that, no, there's no regrets. Yeah, it's 4 days away from home, but in those 4 days, you learn more than a lot. You know, it's definitely worth it.
For sure, for sure. Blake, what about you, man?
Yeah, I definitely agree with Chad. It was definitely worth going to meet new people, and just be able to learn from others, like not only learning from like the meetings and stuff, which that's also valuable, but also learning just from, some of the agents that qualified for 101 as well is really, I think, very important.
For sure, for sure. 201, it's on the horizon for you guys. Are you excited about 201?
Absolutely. I plan on going in October just because the one in June is just so close and everything we've got going on graduation and stuff this week. I think a lot of us plan on being back in October. We kind of made a commitment to each other. Hey, let's push each other and let's be back in October, right? I know Blake's going to be there and Wynn's going to be there with me.
Yeah, for sure. I know that they usually throw some incentives at you guys, being in 101 after you get done with 101. What did that look like? What incentives are in play for you?
It was a $50,000 bonus for writing $1,000 this week. Just kidding. I just light some people's eyes up there. So if you write $10,000, it's $1,000 bonus over the next 4 weeks. If you write 20,000, it's a was it $2,000 bonus?
No, it's 10,000. You get a $500 bonus.
That's
20,000, you get 1,000. And if you get $1,000 bonus, you can also get the jacket.
That's it. Yeah. Thank you, Patricia.
I love you.
Love you more.
Nice. That's awesome. How many notes did you take while being at 101?
I filled up a whole book, and then I asked Megan if we had another book. Unfortunately, we didn't, so I just had to start writing on the backs of pages that I had. So probably 25, 30 pages of notes.
25, 30 pages of notes. Have you been studying this every night?
Yep. I've got them laying right here.
Yeah. What about you, Blake?
Yeah, I was actually typing my computer because I knew I would be writing a lot with my hand, but definitely had around like 15 pages plus a couple pages of paper notes when we were writing in the notebook that we had.
For sure. Last question, guys, from me. What's your biggest takeaway from 101?
I'd say that it was really, kind of sound like a broken record, but, just being able to use that response system that they gave you. And I know that, what's his name? God, I'm so bad with names, but, he was saying that, it only takes 2 minutes to do the response system and, using that rebuttal. And that's only about like 60 minutes of your day with doing like 5 demos, and stuff like that with all the math. And he was just saying that, if it's only 60 minutes of your week and you're just, 2 minutes per person using that response system, if they keep the no, then that's fine. But, even just one of them changing their mind with that response and rebuttal can, change their life really. And just kind of learning that and just showing how short it is that it takes to do that just kind of just makes me want to make sure that I use it every time.
For sure. Chad, what about you, man? What's your biggest takeaway?
I'm ready to build a team and once upon myself, like I said, and to kind of what Blake said there with the rebuttals. If you're not doing those, you're leaving money on the table because most of the time their first objection is not the true objection. Give them a little more information so they can make a decision, right? And just again, broken record, but just back to the basics. Make sure you know your sales talk. Make sure you know the approach. It's there for a reason, right? We perfected the company, perfected the system. Just use it. That's the biggest thing. Get out and go to work and just use the system. It works. Take the pressure off yourself and use the system.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Heck yeah, guys. I appreciate you guys being on today. I appreciate you going over one-on-one. Man, makes me want to go back to one-on-one for sure. I'm going to open up to questions for everybody. You know, questions, comments, anything like that. It could be, you know, just agreeing with everything that they said. If you went to one-on-one last week as well, could be questions if you've never been to one-on-one. You know, something that you want to know or something that we didn't cover. But who's got something for Chad or Blake?
Hey, I got something.
What's up,
Hey.
George?
One of the things I remember that really stuck with me from 101 was, and you guys can chip in too, but in the mornings after breakfast and you're headed into the meeting room, the motivation level that was coming from, you know, corporate guys, they're all lined up. I mean, you're coming in there like you're a football player who, you know, was going out to the field. Just the way they pumped you up for what we do was just amazing.
Yeah, I remember that as well when I went to one-on-one. You know, getting off the bus and you've got the CEO and the vice presidents of the company just clapping, cheering you on, you know, giving you high fives. Man, that'll really get you pumped up, really get you going.
Unfortunately, this time we had to do it at the hotel because they're redoing the home office, so that they didn't really get to experience that coming off the bus, you know,
Yeah,
like we did the first time. But yeah, I understand what George is saying. That's pretty rock star moment, kind of.
for sure. Guys, any questions from, you know, some of the newer agents that they've not been to one-on-one? Anything that you guys want to know about one-on-one?
Do y'all know when the next 101 is? It is July 30th.
When is the next 101?
It is August 2nd through August 4th.
Hey, do y'all when they do you remember what the qualifications are for 201? Because I completely forgot.
Yeah, basically you're a field director or above.
Or what was it, 30,000 in NAP, which most of us already had.
Yeah, in the previous quarter now, I believe it was 30,000 in NAP. One trained to standard or being a field director.
Sounds pretty doable.
Yeah, most of us do that anyway, right?
Yeah.
Just for going to work.
Awesome, guys. Well, guys, we'll let me look at the chat real quick. Don't forget, with the bonus from 101, you must submit each week, and our follow-up Zooms start next week on Monday 8 a.m. for 4 weeks. Awesome. Yep. So thank you, Megan, for throwing that out there about the bonus clarifications as well too. Guys, if nobody else has anything, we're going to go ahead and wrap up. You know, it is Wednesday, it's hump day. We're halfway through the week. Let's go make it happen. It is still very early on in the week. If you're not on the board, if you're having a good week, let's just start over. Clear the scoreboard. Scoreboard sitting at 0. Let's go finish the week strong, and let's go help out Miss Jones and be a blessing for her. I hope you all have a great, awesome day, and thank you again, Chad and Blake, for being on and sharing some knowledge about 101.
Absolutely. Thank you, CJ. If anyone's got any questions or anything, hit us up on Boxer, text message, whatever. If you have any personal questions. So.
All
Yes,
right.
sir. For having
Have
us.
a great day.
Bye.